welcome back. And today's video, if you read the title, I will be drawing JJ from Outer Banks. And if you've never seen Outer Banks, it's a really good show that is on Netflix. There are 2 seasons out right now, and it came out, I believe, last year. So right now I am just adding in the base colors of JJ, and I had a tough time getting his likeness just right, but I think in the end it ended up pretty good, and they were close enough, at least for me, and I am happy with how it turned out. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Now, to talk about JJ in the TV show, I'm hoping that you've seen it because I am going to tell you a little bit about him. If you haven't seen it, then just mute the video and then keep watching so you can see me draw it. But so with JJ's character, he is one of 4, or I guess you could say 5, of the Pogues, which is a group of people in Outer Banks. He's probably one of the saddest characters out of all of them just because of his life's background. His dad is not really around, but when he is around, he's abusive to JJ. He blames JJ for his mom leaving. They'd never really talk about what happened to his mom, but she isn't around. He gets bullied by the Kooks, which are, it's like the rich kids in Outer Banks. They bully him, and let's see, what else? He's also misunderstood, I feel like. He's kind of a jokester, so no one really takes him seriously. And then he also likes another character that's in the show, but she doesn't really show too much interest in him. So, yeah, I wouldn't say he's like one of my favorite characters, but I do feel for him because his life story is really sad. But on a happier note, he is a loving person. He's definitely a protector when it comes to his friends and his family, actually, like his dad. He's very protective of everyone that he cares about. Alright, at this point of the drawing, I am trying to get the form of his face because if you've drawn before, especially digitally, when you take the sketch layer off, sometimes the form of the face is a little lost because you don't have the sketch lines anymore. So right now I'm just trying to get the form of the face so that whenever I take the sketch off, it shows the form. Because I do like lineless art, and if you don't know what that just means when the sketch is gone, the artwork is lineless, because there's no sketch. So that is what I am working on right now. And then I'm also like deepening up the shadows and working on a different features of the face so that I can bring it all together. And right now I'm just working on his chest area, so I'm adding in the shadows that are right underneath his neck or above his collarbone there, so that the shadows are more visible, and then that way his neck actually looks like a neck instead of just like a blob, you know? So after I'm done kind of putting in the base layer of the neck, I'm going to add in the background, which is super simple. It's just a bunch of blacks and grays and a little bit of white, and I'm not going super precise with this because in the end I'm going to end up blurring it out. So because it's a background, so it's further away. So if you blur it, then it looks like the figure in front is closer up to the viewer. For the hair, I tried something a little bit different from what I normally do. So what I did is I just used the hair brush that's already installed in Procreate, and I just made my hair strokes. I went by the biggest shapes that I saw. I'm always talking about using shapes to my advantage whenever I'm doing artwork, and with hair, for some reason, I didn't normally do that, which is strange. Yes, I know, but so I just used the hairbrush to make those big shapes, and then as I went lighter in color with the highlights of the hair, I just put those on the outside of the darker shadows that I first started with, and I just built up my color. So once it was all finished, it looked like hair. It's not super hyper realistic, but that's okay for me because I don't want it to look super hyper realistic, so I just left it how it was. But I did enjoy the process of the hair this time, because usually I struggle quite a bit with doing hair. So I'm going to commit my shape using skills whenever I do artwork to my hair, so that it makes the process so much easier. Clothes is another thing that I kind of struggle with when I am painting. So what I'm doing with this one, which will be something that I commit to memory as well, is I'm just going with the darker shadows that I see, and then I'm building up my colors. Kind of like what I did with the hair, and I'm making sure that I use shapes, and I'm just going with the flow, really. And I've realized over time, especially with this painting, that it doesn't have to be super detailed to get your point across to the viewer, because it's not exact compared to the reference picture, but you can tell it's a shirt. You can tell where the shadows are and the highlights, which is what I was going for. So I hope that kind of helps you artists out there, that it doesn't have to be exact. If you can at least get the shapes and the shadows correct and then add a little bit of highlight, you should be good to go. His jawline is something that I noticed was off for a while. It just looked weird. So what I'm going to do is select all the layers that I need, and then I'm going to use the liquify tool so that I can fix his face, because all the shading is done and I don't want to mess that up. And if I use the liquifying tool, it kind of keeps all that in place. So guys, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please comment, like, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.